DMT.
What do you mean?
Do mushrooms first. Don't even go.
What? Well, wait. What is the
recommend baby
mushroom you
steps.
chew? Right?
Yeah, you just need a little mushrooms.
Or
too.
you can make
your
it in a
first
shake.
trip. Don't get
But you
crazy.
could put. Could I make like a strawberry milkshake with a mushroom in it?
You could eat it with applesauce.
Will it be the same
a lot
effect?
Of people do. Yeah.
Like it won't be like you
No.
ruined it.
You really shouldn't have food in your stomach, but as long as that is the only food, and it'll like probably diminish the effects very slightly, but ultimately it's all going to get into your bloodstream.
Did you ever have a bad trip?
Bad trips are they're actually and it doesn't seem like it at the time, but they're actually almost all beneficial. As long as you don't go completely crazy. What you learn from a bad trip is that you've got some issues, man. You got some shit that's bugging you. You got some imbalances in your mind, and you're not focusing on them. That's usually what it is, and it comes up in nightmarish form. It comes up in nightmarish clarity. That's what psychedelic experiences really do. When you have something that's really fucking with you, it's such a primary focus inside your mind that when you open up these doors to psychedelic dimensions, your mind is going to grab that shit and shove it in your face and go, what the fuck is this? Why are you hiding this from us? Why don't you get this shit out of the way? Why do you think Oscar De La Hoya came clean and said that he was wearing women's underwear in those photos and it was real? Because every night that the fucking truth is knocking him on the head, dude, you were in chick's underwear, just fucking say it. I can't. I can't. He's tossing and sweating. If he ate a pot brownie, he would have been forced to admit it, like right away.
It just would have been more mellow about it.
Strips you down.
Yeah.
Strips you down. You know, and you have a strong mushroom trip, man. It strips you down. You see what they describe as the wiring under the board. You know, you see things in a different perspective. It's an impossible perspective. It shouldn't be. First of all, it shouldn't exist, and second of all, it shouldn't be so easy to get to. All you have to do is eat this stuff. You eat this stuff and wait an hour and 20 minutes, and all of a sudden you're literally in an impossible to describe different world that shouldn't exist. It can't be real because it violates everything you know about life. When you're closing your eyes, everywhere you look is something more and more impossible. And there's information coming at you, all the answers to all the world's problems. But it's like slippery fish, and you're standing in a river, and you can't fucking hold on to many of it. There's just too many fucking fish coming your way, man. And there's the water, and the information is hitting you like the fucking river.
You're selling the game. You're selling the game.
It's not for everybody, but it's for you. That's what I would say. It's not for everybody, but it's for you. There's great men who have learned incredible things from psychedelic trips. And there's a guy named Graham Hancock who's going to be doing the podcast soon. He contacted me in email, and I just emailed him back, and he says, genius writer who wrote these fascinating books about ancient human history called Fingerprints of the Gods. It's all about these ancient structures that point to the very plausible idea that the human race has been around way longer than we like to think, and that civilization has had peaks and valleys where we were almost wiped out and we had to rebuild anew. And he claims that
kind of like what you were talking about before, like return to the cities and be like, where'd these buildings come from?
Sure, but in his case, it was more of like, I think what they're mostly pointing towards giant cataclysmic disasters that have, all but wiped out a huge percentage of the human race, and then people have to start all over again. I mean, the concept of what if today, 2011,
like the Matrix, like
sure.
the third Matrix movie.
Was that it? Was that what happened
in the third Matrix?
Movie?
They were like, this is permutation of a fucking equation. That it's essentially the message was this happened. This is the 16th time we've done this. Like we keep putting you guys into.
I think that's based on the yugas.
Is it?
Based, yeah, that's based on an ancient Hindu system, or it's an Indian system called the like. I don't know the full thing. Our friend Duncan's like an expert in this shit, but the way he explained it to me is that this is Kali Yuga, and the Kali Yuga is like the most chaotic stage of the human existence, and we have this normal, natural progression from sensible to wild to crazy to completely out of control, which is where we are now. Until the next stage is some sort of an enlightenment, some sort of a learning from this, some sort of a next passage that goes through, and that the idea is that that humanity is in this continuous cycle, and that it's we like to think of ourselves as having a direct linear projection from monkey to human being in 2011, but in fact it may have hit this peak thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and then been shut down by some horrible disaster that killed almost everybody, and that almost everybody forgets about it because you kill like half the fucking people, and man, good luck piecing things together, writing things down. Right. Paper disappears. They burned the Library of Alexandria. They lost all the records for Egypt. Everything they have left is just shit carved in snow. or carved in stone rather. It's like, you want to really get the full history of the human race. It's really complicated. It's like we don't really know what happened 10,000 years ago. We don't really know what happened 15, 20,000. And in the course of the universe or the course of the life of this planet, that's a fucking half of a blink of the eye. Right. It's almost like as a race, we have woken up at a certain level where we started writing things down. Like, we'll call it 1,000 years ago, whatever the fuck it was, where people really started writing things down. It's almost like we're just slowly piecing this fucking thing together as it's moving. Right. It's moving in a direction. People are just starting to write things down. Okay, this is what happens, and this and this and this. And then the next people come along and they go, okay, they already figured this out. Okay, what else can we figure out? And then we got to figure this out. And they're all moving along as life is moving, constantly trying to re-add to this fucking pile of awakening to try to describe this life that we're just born in the middle of, mid-momentum. Hit the ground running. As soon as you could walk, you're off to school and you're a fucking cog in the wheel. Boom. And very little time to sit down and think about what the fuck it really is.
I like the notion of it's all occurring, like we're waking up, the Renaissance of sorts. With somebody writing it down. Number one, I thought that was really sweet. But number two, the notion of doing that while you're moving, moving forward still. You can't
seems like
stop time and tell people, like, wait, let me catch up and write everything down so far.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to start fucking swimming. You're absolutely right. That's kind of evocative. That's a really beautiful image. Well done.
Thanks.
I'm a writer. I appreciate some good words, man.